Hello, everyone. It's Jacqueline, and today I am bringing you another episode of Growth by Design Leadership Morrison Lead podcast. Welcome. For those of you who this is your first time checking us out, this podcast speaks about life leadership. It is a podcast that is going to inspire you and champion you to live the life of your choosing. To live a life by design, not by default. You know, there are many people who have things planned for your life, but none as good as what you would plan for yourself. You deserve to live a life of purpose because I believe that the Creator made us all by design, on purpose, for purpose. So our podcast is to inspire you to live the life that you were created to live, knowing your gifts, knowing your talents, so you can maximize the potential and live fully in the purpose for which you were created. I know that there is greatness within you, and it's no cliche because I'm always amazed at the fact that our very fingerprints, 8 billion people on the planet, and we all have different fingerprints. If that does not speak to our uniqueness and the way that the Creator has made us to be unique and special, to live the life that we were designed to live. There are many challenges that you will face in life, and I've faced my share of them. But I don't believe that there is a challenge, there is a situation, there's an obstacle, there's a problem that has come your way that you were not designed directly to deal with. I live and my life is directed a lot by scriptures. And there is a scripture in Jeremiah 29, verse 11 that says, "The plans I have for you are good, for you to prosper and for you to live a life with an expectant end," meaning that a life for you to accomplish the things that I've already designed for you. This passage of scripture was written by gentleman in scripture who was living in a time where things were terrible. They probably resembled much like the day we live in today, where things were all upside down and people did not know what to expect because they were not good times. However, he was able to affirm the fact that he knew that he was created for more. Created to be able to move through the times that he was in. And so I don't know what's going on in your life right now, or I don't know all that you may be facing, all the obstacles or challenges that may be in your life. But I believe that by learning to lead your life by design, by the Creator's design, that the answer awaits for you to have a good end. All right. Today, I just want to speak to you and to share a little bit about growth. We've chosen the name Growth by Design because we believe that healthy organisms grow. We believe that healthy human beings grow. We believe in lifelong learning because we believe that there's always growth that is on the other side of our desiring to become all that we were destined to be. World-renowned John Maxwell is someone whose books I probably read, if not all, dozens of the books that he's written. For those of you who don't know him, if you don't, you should, and have grown and gleaned from his writings and have implemented much of the laws of leadership that he has written about to be in a place where I feel that I have something to contribute to others as it pertains to leadership. And so I just wanted to do kind of like a review today of some of the things that I've written down over the years about leadership and growth. So John Maxwell has written about the irrefutable laws of leadership. He's written about the laws of growth. And so I want to share some keys with you today for growth. One, I want to start with saying that growth isn't an automatic process. If you're going to grow, you've got to be intentional. It's not going to happen by accident, but there must be some intentionality if you're going to grow. Whether it be in your relationships, whether it be in your career, whether it be in whatever area that you desire growth, focus on being intentional. There's a book by James Allen, and it's called As a Man Thinketh. And in that book, he says this: men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. Imagine that. We want to improve our circumstances, but we do not want to improve ourselves. One of the ways in which to see growth is to improve ourselves. Sometimes we can't do anything about the circumstances, but we can always do something about us. So we have our circle of influence, the things that we can control, the things that we are have direct influence on. Those are the things that we should focus on changing, the things that we should focus on doing, things that we are able to do that is within our control, that we have influence over, because we may not be able to change the circumstance, but we can change ourselves. Another thing I want to touch on is how we manage bad experiences when we are interested in personal or professional growth. Now, when you experience something bad, as we all will at some point experience something that is not what we prefer, how do we deal with that as it pertains to our own growth? Here's another little nugget from Maxwell. He says that he has grown more from pain and conflict. He says that most of his personal development occurred during times of pain or conflict, and that the outcome ultimately depended on his reactions. So, similar to John Maxwell, when he talks about growing a place of struggle and growing from a place of pain, I remember when I was just a child, actually, I was in grade 6, and I just could not wrap my head around those timetables. You know, it was back in the time when we had to learn them. And I knew that whether I passed or failed was going to be determined based on me being able to, by rote, by memory, recite times table from 1 to 12. And I remember that year because it was a defining moment for me where I wanted to grow, I wanted to advance, and the challenge that I was having was keeping me stuck, keeping me afraid. A lot of times when we're in a difficult situation, we become fearful and we cannot grow. But once I decided and at the time, I don't know if I would have been able to articulate the fact that one of my core values is learning, right? I believe that we can figure things out, that there is a path, there's a way, there's a way that's made each time for us to overcome hurdles, because I believe that whatever comes to me, rest assured that if God's brought me to it, He'll bring me through it. And so that was really something that allowed me to be able to do the hard work to get through that season and to learn my times table. You may have a child that's struggling. You may have had people that's struggling in one area or the other, and they're facing a difficulty that if they are able to tap into the values that they have that will help them to overcome whatever the challenge is, they're going to grow. They're going to grow and they're going to blossom. They're going to flourish. And I believe that when we start to identify some core values, we will be able to grow from where we are and really see people, our own lives, thrive. So we know that successful people take every difficult experience and learn from it. So one of the ways for us to experience growth is to ask the question, what have I learned from the experience? Years ago, my husband and I had an experience. I don't know if you've ever experienced being released from a job, having been fired from a job, or being laid off from a job, whatever the circumstance, but you no longer have a job that you once did. That can be a painful experience, especially if there's conflict involved with the separation or the reason for you being released from the job that you were doing. And we experienced a job loss as a family many years ago. And we had an option. We had a choice. We could either grow from the experience, or we could allow the experience to just cause us to lose all hope and shrink as people. We chose to grow from the experience. A lot of experiences that you have, that I've had, are the experiences that grow us, that stretch us, and that causes us to become more of the person that God has already intended us to be. So it's our reaction to the circumstances and the situations that are painful, and the conflicts that we would rather not deal with. It's out of those experiences that we experience a lot of growth. So I totally agree with Maxwell when he said that most of his personal development occurred during times of pain and or conflict. I didn't know this fact before, but I'm reading a quote directly from him. So he writes this. He says, in one church I experienced a split in the congregation, and some people left the church. That experience made me dig deeper as a leader. Another is the pain of bad health. My heart attack at age 51 was excruciating. It was also an eye-opener. He said he immediately changed his eating habits and brought into the practice of daily exercise. I don't know if you've ever had any health challenges and you've had to grow from that experience, whether it was a heart attack or anything, that by changing your eating habits, by exercising, that would help you to grow and become better. So in order to grow from conflict, grow from experiences, is to learn from them. List in the things that you learned. For everyone, they may have learned different lessons, but what are the lessons that you've learned from any kind of negative situations or encounter that you've had, any sort of conflict that you've had, difficult situations that you've been through? What have you learned? And not just what you learned about the situation, but what did you learn about yourself? In what areas may you be encouraged to grow because of the lessons learned? So what are some areas that you might want to grow in based on the challenges that you've experienced? From there, you can think about the lessons learned and how it may be able to grow you. I had a family member who was so challenged in getting his license, and he had to keep going back, several times to order to succeed. And we would take him out to different places and try to go over the areas where he needed to grow, the areas he needed to develop, the areas where he was really challenged. And it took quite a bit for him to be able to, for lack of a better way, to grow and to get unstuck to be able to get his license. What is maybe something that you've done time and time again and don't seem to be moving forward, can't get out of the place that you're at, feeling stuck and not sure what to do? Well, keep moving. Keep moving. Even if it's an inch at a time, keep going back, and as my family member did, to take the test. Keep practicing, being deliberate and being consistent in the actions that are required in order to see growth occur. Remember that movement, those who move live. Those who grow succeed. Those who grow improve their quality of life. Those who grow will enjoy the life that they live. I'm going to list some things that you would want to consider as it pertains to your growth, some things that could hinder your growth. And I've learned all too well from all of these. So first is make assumptions. Assuming that you will automatically grow. Assumptions can cause us to not grow as we ought to. So let's not make any assumptions. When you're going through a time of struggle or a time of difficulty, it's a good time to stop and to rehearse, to remind yourself, what are some of your core values? As you grow and as you are desiring to grow, but you come into times of challenge, times of pain, write down your core values. These are the things that will keep you going. These are the things that will cause you not to quit, not to give up, not to become despondent, or to sit in a place of apathy. When you realize what your values are, those values will help you to move from one place to another, will help you to grow, to help you to move from where you are to where you want to be. As I endeavor to help people to move from where they are to where they want to be, I reckon that it's because when I've been at places where I didn't desire to stay, I had to sit down, map out my values, come into alignment with my values to be able to find the pathway forward from where I was to where I wanted to be. So I'm encouraging you to do that, to sit and think about your core values. See if that does not motivate you to grow, to move out of those difficult places and see growth and triumph occur. We're on a growth journey, all of us. And definitely if you're listening to this podcast and you are checking in when episodes drop and you subscribe, you will be able to see and assess your growth throughout this year. And when you are going through difficulties, when you're feeling the stretch of life, remember that there's growth on the other side because you are working consistently to maximize your potential, grow your life, and it is not going to be by default. It will be intentional as you consistently do the things that are required to see growth occur. So looking forward to next time we can sit down and talk about ways in which to maximize your potential so that you can live fully in your purpose. Talk to you soon.